Hey, everybody.
Hey there.
Hi.
Hi. It's time yet again for another Fuzzy Memories show.
Every time that we get to this point in the show, can I tell you something that happens in my body and
Please.
head? I panic and think I did the wrong year until you say it.
Well, we're doing 1995 this week. Is
Okay,
that the
good,
year you
good,
did?
good.
Excellent.
Yeah. Every time.
I kind of do the same because, a little behind the scenes action, listeners, we are on a text chain, and usually it's Heath every week saying,
Hey, guys.
What year should we do?
Hello. Wake up. We got a show this week.
And then there's a few lame, let's do a 90s year, waiting for someone else to pick it. But we finally settle on a year, and when I sit down to do the notes, I check that text message about 5 times to make sure
Me too.
that I have the right year.
Absolutely.
So good that we're all on the same page.
Yeah, that's good.
This is an anxiety-based podcast.
It really is.
Fueled by anxiety, yeah.
And it's good to know that Heath will always get us going back on track.
That's what we need him for.
Back
That's what we
on
need him for.
track.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of back on track, let's get back on our
Let's get on our
goal.
backs.
Let's. Or that works too. Yeah. Let's
we
just
have a
lay
different-
down and do a podcast. Should we try that?
Oh, I like that.
I like it. Yeah.
You just have to wake me up because telling you, I'm sure you can tell I have a cold, so I'll probably snore. So
Now I'm picturing all of us just laying down with our mics, just speaking to the air.
trying to laugh. That was a good one.
My arm fell asleep.
I like it. Should we talk about some unmitigated gall?
Yeah,
Because that's what we do.
that is what we
We
do.
have to talk through it.
My first is another entry in a continuing series of how the human body is bullshit. Yeah. And this week, I think I want to focus on the circulatory system.
Oh, that bitch.
It felt like all of a sudden we were on an episode of Magic School Bus. Circulatory System Week.
And it's very simple because I'm at that beautiful time in a middle-aged woman's life, my body temperature has rose. And it has rose by approximately 5,000 degrees. So my torso is consistently on fire. Just constantly on fire. Just ablaze at all times, except my feet are ice cold at the same time. How are we doing that, circulatory system? I don't understand what you're doing. What? I don't get it. My hands too. My hands and feet will be just freezing cold, and everything else is like a big ball of fire, like Jerry Lee Lewis says.
Because they just concentrate on your torso. Like everything in your circulatory system
it.
runs to that.
It's like we gotta attack that torso.
Yeah.
We
And
gotta
they're like,
just.
oh shit, we forgot about the foot. It's almost dead.
Oh my God, I'm almost a dead foot.
Get back down there. Get back down there. You're going to start taking walks and not know you're bleeding.
Yeah, so something's gone haywire in the circulatory system, and I don't know how to fix it other than just say, get your shit together, Linda. I'm named.
Did you name your circulatory system Linda?
I just did.
I like it.
Yeah, I think that works for her. And Linda is she's not paying attention to her job. She's checked out. Yep. She's like watching Grey's Anatomy at work, while she's trying to fill out forms, and she's doing it poorly.
She's doing a bad job.
Yeah.
What other systems have you named?
My entire torso is now named Tina, and she is Tina the torso is just...
Linda's doing Tina dirty.
Exactly. They're in a fight. That's what's
They are
happening.
in a fight.
Linda and Tina are in a fight.
Tina stole Linda's lunch at work one time, and it's never been the same.
Yeah. So they are duking it out in a very passive-aggressive way.
Yeah.
And I'm the victim.
Every day, Linda opens her laptop, puts her tablet up with Grey's Anatomy, is like, let's send this one Tina's way, and then gets about her business.
And Tina's just like, God damn it, I got so many fires to put out. And they're literal fires. And she's not putting them out.
I ran out of fire extinguisher stuff forever.
We're just going to have to let this burn itself out. And
Till it's just ash.
But the itself is me, and I'm burning out.
Yeah.
So it's uncomfortable.
Sorry.
So I just think the human body is bullshit, as I've mentioned multiple times.
Yeah.
Got a lot of nerve.
I know. Tina and Linda. It also feels like
So many good puns.
wasn't there a Broadway show of like Tony and Linda?
Tony
have
and
a
Tina's wedding?
That's it. Yeah. So we're verging on like
saw
a
that.
madcap Broadway show with some shitty music.
I
and
liked
stuff.
it.
I
You
never
liked
saw
it? Because isn't it one of those interactive ones? Tony and Tina's wedding?
Oh no, I meant I liked your whole.
Oh,
no,
like mine, yeah,
no,
yeah,
I
yeah.
wasn't
Okay.
specifically
All
talking
Yeah.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I did see it, but it is an interactive situation.
I don't
yes.
like that.
No, yeah.
You,
Those are
it's your
terrible.
nightmare. Yeah, it's your nightmare come to life
Don't
in a
talk to
musical.
me. Do your thing up there. I don't want. No.
No, you're like an active wedding guest. at it.
Ew.
Yeah.
We didn't go to that one, but we went to some high school reunion one where it was the same kind of thing, and I did not know before we went that that's what was happening. And at one point, they did try to get me to participate, and I said no. And this woman kept trying, and I said no. Like, I sternly told this old lady no, because she was trying to get me to get up and dance, and I was just like, bitch, I'm not getting up to dance.
So Mike and I one time went to a murder mystery dinner.
Oh no.
And when Mike said he was in construction, like he was just making conversation at the table, people are asking jobs. We didn't know that like everyone was a suspect. So everyone immediately started saying that he was the murderer because he had access to concrete. And like no matter what he said, they wouldn't leave it alone. He's like, no, I'm really like, I'm not. I like literally own a construction business, but like, I'm not. I don't even do concrete. Like he just kept, and everything he said made him look more and more guilty.
Oh my God.
So he kept getting more and more wrapped up in the thing because people kept naming him as a suspect. He's like, I don't even know. Like, yeah, people named him at the end as the suspect. Like, you're clearly the one who did it. And everyone was like, no, he didn't.
He'd have a great, like, they should pay him for that at every murder mystery to,
Yeah.
like, you know, be the red herring that everyone goes after.
He was, yeah. He was very not happy.
Well, moral of the story is,
Don't go to interactive things.
I was going to say Linda and Tina are in a fight.
Also that.
They are, yeah, it's not good. So, what's your goal?
Well, my goal's a little less inflammatory than that.
Yeah. Nice wordplay. That's what Heath talked about when he says layered wordplay.
Layered
in our
wordplay. That's why
episodes.
we get the best reviews. Yes. That's why you tune in for our layered wordplay.
Absolutely.
Mine's my printer. And here's why. My printer and I have been in a sort of love-hate relationship for...
Like Linda and Tina.
Yes. A lot, yeah.
Which one are you?
You know, I guess I thought I was Linda, but it's turning out I'm Tina.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What a twist.
I know. That's what's really perplexed me this week. So by love-hate, I say that I get very angry at the printer, but then I try and talk nice to it.
Oh, okay.
You know, like,
sure,
you're
sure,
doing
sure,
a great job. I just need you to print this one thing, okay? Like, it's okay. I gave you new paper. You got new toner. You are ready for this. Like, I'm always encouraging the
You're
printer.
gentle parenting the printer.
I was trying to gentle parent the printer. Until this week, there's just too many things that happened, and I lost it with the printer. And it turns out that my printer responds better to tough love.
Oh.
It likes to be yelled at.
Okay.
Oh.
It likes
got
a little
kink.
hair pull.
It's
Yeah.
a little kinky.
Likes a little hair pull, a little slap.
Oh.
Because when I got rough with the printer this week, all of a sudden it straightened right up and worked for multiple days in a row, which hasn't happened in quite some time.
It was
Now,
like, well, this is all we wanted. We just needed to be punished.
I literally turned to it and said, I'm going to throw you out the window. Like, that's where we're at. Just real talk. And before you, please understand, I work by myself in a home office. So, like, yes, I talk out loud because there's no one else
Who
there.
doesn't?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't, okay, yeah, I guess it's a little crazy. I was going to say it's not crazy, but it is. And anyway, I said I was going to throw it out the window, and it started spitting out pages like it was his job. And I was like, okay. So the next day when it tried to pull the whole, your printer door's open and it's not open, I was like, do you want me to shut it hard? Is that what you're asking for? So I opened it and slammed it shut, and it worked.
What a kinky little bitch.
Kinky little bitch. Also, I know that I should replace my printer, but the amount of work that takes and getting the driver software on there and I just don't have it in me right now, okay? And when you're in the middle of needing to print something someone's saying, you should get a new printer is not helpful.
Yeah.
Because I need that thing at that moment, not, in 3 days when I can get a new printer hooked up.
Do you think that you maybe also like this little interplay?
I do,
that
I
you
think.
have? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it feels like the most other alive person in the home office.
But there's a lesson here, a bigger lesson too, that just for everyone listening, mostly men,
Yeah.
this, you need to hear this, is when, something's not working, and you say, well, just get a new one. Like, that's not good advice. That's not good feedback. You're not helping.
Advice. It's not
helping Sitch, and it may not be recognizing the codependent nature of you and your printer.
Yes, exactly. We've been through a lot together. This is a new turn in our relationship, and I'm doing my best to meet her needs. So that's where we're at.
Have you named her?
Grow together.
What's her name?
Sparky.
Okay, interesting. Why?
Because one time when I unplugged her and plugged her back in, a spark came out.
Oh!
Because her full legal name is Sparkles.
Yes. Sparkles crinkle paper. Because she loves to crinkle a page.
She's got quite a personality. You don't
She
want to
does.
throw her out?
No, Sparky's doing her thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
she's
it.
a spark plug. if you will.
We put too much emphasis on the wordplay that, now we're
Now it's too far.
now we're just,
Now they're like, I don't know why we would listen to this show.
Yeah.
Sparky,
Their
spark
wordplay
plug.
isn't that great.
Sparky and spark plug, that's a jump. Why am I writing our own negative reviews now?
I don't follow.
You don't get it.
I tried. Didn't like it.
All right. Now can we
Yes.
have...
Oh, yeah.
Apparently this has been a couple weeks full of absolute unmitigated gall for you.
Cannot wait.
First of all, the first gall, it involves my passport, right? My passport needed to be renewed, and I was going to try to renew it. And I'm doing this just America because I feel like we may all need to just get the hell out of here real quick in the next few years, and I want to be
same
and I want to be prepared. So I've known where my passport is for years. It's sat in the same place, and I went there to get it because I knew it had expired. I was going to send it in by mail with the picture and all this stuff, and I couldn't find it. And I ransacked our house, and I cannot find it.
Oh, no.
And I assume it accidentally got thrown away. Like, it got put in the wrong pile of papers if I was going through stuff, Okay.
Oh, shit.
So I make an appointment to go get a new one, right? So I print out the forms, I fill it out, I make an appointment at the post office, we go in, I get my picture taken, I give the gentleman my ID, and he's like, well, do you have your birth certificate? And I said, no, I don't have my birth certificate, because of course you don't have your birth certificate. Who just has that,
No.
right?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, we need your birth certificate to prove who you are to be able to process this. And I said, okay, fine. And then he explained, he had all the information ready of where I have to go to get my birth certificate. So I went to the Department of Health and Human Services.
Oh, you don't. Oh my gosh.
To get a copy of my birth certificate. And ironically, my driver's license was enough information for them to prove who I was to get a copy of my birth certificate.
Fascinating. Jesus Christ.
So I get the birth certificate and I go back and use that. I go back to the post office and give my birth certificate to them, and they're like, okay, good. Like, they didn't even ask to see my ID again. Like 5 days had gone by. Like, the guy didn't even ask to see my ID again. I was like, why is this a thing? Why, like, this other piece of paper that, doesn't have my picture on it. You don't know, what I mean? Like, I don't know. So that was, I spent too much time in the post office this week. So
That's horrible. Yeah. I was thinking that because I did the same thing, thinking the same thing. Like, I got to at least have it. I got to have it ready, you know, and that mine was almost expiring. And I went to the online system, and there's all these fucking rules about the picture and how you have to take the picture. And so I tried a bunch of different things because I did not want to go to the place or like mail in. And also I don't like, because when you renew it by mail, you have to send in the existing one, and I don't like that. I don't feel. I feel like there's something's going to go awry.
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
just my own anxiety.
Yeah.
So yeah, what a pain in the ass process. But I finally got it, and it's fine. Picture's terrible, but I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say that the guy at the post office who took my picture with like a Canon, like a little tiny red camera, like from like 25 years ago, he took a nice picture.
Excellent.
Oh, good for him. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, all things considered. But my other gall is I ordered DoorDash a week ago Friday for dinner. And
you still haven't gotten it?
well, I haven't gotten my food yet. I got somebody else's dinner.
Oh, no.
And I don't know. My driver's name is Brittany. And Brittany, if you're listening, that's like, you've got two things to do, babe. Pick up the food and drop the food off at the house. And you did one of them wrong. I got somebody else's food from, it's a faux place. I didn't like it. I didn't want to eat that. That's not. I ordered a salad and French fries like a normal human adult who craves balance.
Absolutely.
And so, but my goal is, I go on to, DoorDash, and I let them know. They're like, was your order wrong, whatever. And I let them know what's happening. And they're like, we're looking into it. You'll have an answer within an hour. Well, you know what, DoorDash? It's been 9 days, and you're still looking into it, because I keep refreshing the fucking page.
What?
And they keep saying they're still looking into it. They have not, apparently, according to their website, have not given up on this. They have not moved on to the next thing.
They're like, it's out there somewhere. It's out there. The truth is out there. Wait, so did you get a refund yet? Or no, they're just looking into
What?
it. Okay, cool.
They just keep saying they're looking into it.
That's absurd. Why wouldn't they just refund it immediately?
I was wondering, I assume, obviously someone else got my food. Like there was a mix-up of some kind, and I suppose whoever got it was just like, I don't know, I'll eat it. And if they didn't say anything, I feel like they need to have something to match it up to.
Yeah.
Like someone else also saying on Brittany's route, like, that they got the wrong food. And for all I know, I mean, maybe that is their system. It just automatically, when you say there's a problem, it just takes you to this website, this page that says, "Yep, we're looking into it," and that's just where you die. they have no, they're not looking into it. They don't care if they feel like maybe if they keep telling you they are, you'll think they are, and we'll see what happens.
Or it's a situation where two people are working in an office, like Linda and Tina, and one of them is just like, I am gonna look into this, and they have to send it off to Tina, and Tina's like, "Fuck you, Linda, I don't want to look into this."
Yeah.
And so they're just at an impasse.
They're at an impasse. But
And you are
I've
the
had that
victim.
happen before too, and they credited me right away.
Yeah, me too.
So I don't know if they've just been getting too much of that, and they're starting to try to crack down or something. But and I'm really feeling for the disappointment that happens when you're like, "Ooh, I ordered this, and I'm excited. You're ready for that food," and then you get something else, and you're like, "I don't want this."
The whole day's ruined.
Yeah, it's a Friday night. I've worked all week.
Yes.
I just want what I ordered.
It sounds like the beginning of a country song.
Yes, it is. I worked all week and I polished my boots. And I just want the food that I ordered.
In my Chevy truck.
Yeah. I drive
God
my
bless
truck back to the place.
If I could just pray hard enough,
And
I'll get
say,
my food.
"Where's my fries? Give them to me now."
Brittany, where you going?
The old guy at the bar
Oh, you're right.
told me stop waiting for your fries. They ran out 2 months ago. That whole menu's a lie.
Nailed it with the rhyme.
On it. Whew. Okay.
Well, that was...
I don't know what to say. I feel bad. I feel bad. It makes me want to send you a salad and french fries.
Let's go back to a time in which you would have to actually go out and get the salad and french fries.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't have had salad and fries.
Me neither.
Yeah, I would have just probably had macaroni and cheese like I ended up having to do that night.
Me too. A little bit of ramen.
It's a ramen Friday night.
Shooting up the charts, that song.
I know how to make them. Hitmaker.
Someday someone's going to look back at 2024 and be like, the best thing to remember about that year was that country song that Aaron
Ramen
came
Friday
up with.
night. Oh, man.
All right, a little recap from our previous 1995 episode.
Oh, yeah.
Here's what we talked about. We talked about what the top websites of the year were. We talked about an insane Australian jailbreak in which they found the key from the instruction manual.
Yes.
There was a Nobel Prize winner whose ex-wife took him for all he was worth.
Get it.
There was the epic Drew Barrymore flashing David Letterman. There was a inexplicable situation with the Oklahoma City bombing in which a spare leg was just left laying around.
Still not solved.
Still not solved. There was the death of Selena.
Yeah.
There was the massively popular / unpopular movie Showgirls.
Yeah.
There was the prescient movie The Net. And then there was Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill.
Timeless.
1995. We did good that
did
episode.
well.
We did real good.
We did.
We're going to do good again.
Yeah, we are.
So, I want to see what I want to start with. Hang on. Oh, I know what I want to start with.
Oh boy.
The story of Cindy Crawford and Richard Gere.
Oh my God, I almost did this.
It came to an end in 1995, and what a strange story it was.
Yes.
So, if you don't know, Cindy Crawford was, in the early 90s, the supermodel. And she was very young still, but in 1991, she was just everywhere. At the same time, Richard Gere is coming off Pretty Woman. He is feeling good about himself. And
He's an officer and a gentleman.
He's an officer and a gentleman. And in 1991, they get married. And the first problem is a huge age difference. She is 24. He is 41. She said later in an interview that she was just so young and, she followed and he led. Like she just kind of, whatever he liked. It was like a runaway bride situation. She didn't really know what she liked. So
Also
she just
a Richard
followed.
Gere movie.
Exactly. she just followed what Richard Gere liked.
Okay. Okay.
And she did admit later that, he taught her a great deal about like how to be famous, like how to navigate that world. But from the start, there were rumors. There's constant rumors that Richard Gere is gay and that the marriage is a publicity stunt.
And her too, I thought.
And her too.
Yeah.
Yes. But it feels like the Richard Gere thing stuck more carefully. I
It
didn't
did.
I didn't remember the Cindy
yeah.
Crawford's being gay rumor. I had the rumor of Richard Gere and all the things he did to himself.
Yes,
rumors.
correct.
Which we're not going to mention here because we're a classy podcast.
We are
Yeah.
classy.
Nothing if not classy.
But apparently they were so big, these rumors, that in 1994, they took the bizarre step of taking out a full page ad in the London Times to say, hey, we're not gay. We are heterosexual. We are heterosexual AF.
Oh,
The
man.
ad cost about $30,000, which in 1995, I don't know exchange rate, was a shit ton.
Yeah. It's a shit ton, even if it's 30,000, because it's an ad to say you're not gay.
Yeah. But what's funny is I tried to hunt down the actual ad. I couldn't find it anywhere. I found text of it, so I'll read bits of it. It said, "We both feel quite foolish responding to such nonsense." Do you really?
Do you? Don't do it then.
But it seems to have reached a sort of critical mass. We got married because we love each other. And we decided to make a life together. We are heterosexual and monogamous and take our commitment to each other very seriously.
Huh.
There is not and never has been a prenuptial agreement of any kind.
Well, that does, duh. There
Yeah.
should be one.
Reports of a divorce are totally false. There are no plans, nor have there ever been any plans for divorce. We remain very married. We both look forward to having a family.
Okay. It feels very odd.
It feels like you're protesting way
Way
too
too
much.
much.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
no PR person was involved at all. This was just Richard Gere running wild. Okay.
But then, oddly, it went on to describe the difficult causes that they support. This insane list of things that they apparently give money to, like AIDS research and treatment, Tibetan independence, ecology, gay and lesbian rights, democracy movements, disarmament, and nonviolence.
Is
Like,
ecology just something you can say you
what?
support?
Apparently, tribal survival was one of them.
Tribal survival?
Yeah.
Okay. What?
So were they trying to tell everybody we're really good people, so please stop saying these not
Apparently.
nice things about
Oh,
us?
yeah.
Because then at the very end, it ended with an appeal, presumably to the press. Of
Don't you feel like an asshole
Yeah.
now?
They said to please be responsible, truthful, and kind. And then they got divorced the next year.
Oof.
But just that idea of we're going to end these rumors by talking about it in a huge forum and saying the word gay a lot.
Also, in just the weirdest way. I think we learned this in third grade lunchroom. If someone calls you something and you repeatedly say, I'm not, it's going to stick even more.
It's going to stick. Yeah.
You're just drawing attention to it.
Absolutely. If I had been aware enough and living in London to read that, I would have been oh shit, he is gay.
Yeah.
Maybe not her, but she is.
And then when
he
you
is.
get divorced the following year, it gives it even more credence that there was something going on.
Yeah. I think the moral of the story is if someone accuses you of something, don't take out a full page ad in a newspaper to say, not true.
Or, get a PR team.
That too, that might be good.
Yeah. Because
It
that
is a good-
copy is written very strangely.
Yes. Very repetitive.
Yeah.
Not great. It would have been funny if that was a PR statement. Like who, was in the meeting, if it was just written by committee and everyone's just throwing out a line like include this and include this. And
Stan, did you write this? We explicitly told you are not allowed to write copy. He fucking took it to London. He put it in a goddamn ad.
God damn it, Stan.
I feel like whoever did write that is the one who writes now the anti-abortion billboards that are around town.
Yes.
That say things like real men love babies. And it's
Yes.
like, what does that even fucking mean?
What does
Because
that
it
mean?
sounds gross.
It sounds gross.
All right, what about you, Aaron?
Well, I don't know if you guys remember a little dance called the Macarena.
Oh, God damn it. Fuck you for bringing this here.
All right, that's
We're gonna have this. We're gonna have this in our head all goddamn day.
I know.
I'm just kidding. I love you.
Okay. For a minute, I understood Tina.
Ow, Tina almost shot up water out of my torso. Tina's like, it's too hot. We can't even take the water.
It's gonna boil
Yeah.
down here.
Tina's like, don't talk about me like I'm not here.
Oh shit, we've angered her.
Oh, no, Tina. No wonder
we
I'm
love
suddenly
you.
so sweaty.
Tina, calm down.
It's okay, Tina.
It's okay. Linda took the day off, Tina. You might be confused because the hit actually came out in 1993 by a group called Los Del Rio, and it was first released as a flamenco hit.
Really?
Yes, and it was remixed by the Bayside Boys,
Oh.
which I didn't remember that was
Bayside
the name of the
Boys?
group. Did you? Bayside Boys? Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
of course,
didn't remember it at all.
And it was remixed as a dance track, and we all know the history after that. The dance video itself worked as a lesson and showed you the movements that you could follow. And fun fact, they did include the original band, Los Del Rio, in the music video. They're doing the dance in the background. It's endured because in 2003, 10 years after, Los Del Rio made $250,000 in royalties alone that year on the Macarena, however you say it. Yeah. So, and I think we can all, I am pretty sure that the last wedding I was at, they played it. And
it's still around.
Yeah, it's a thing.
And I hate it every single time.
I do too.
Every single fucking time.
Yeah.
But good on you, Los Del Rios, to make some goddamn money.
Yeah, I'm happy to
For
hear
off
that
all
they
of
were
our
getting
pain.
the royalties from it, and that they, at least the Bayside Boys, gave a nod back to it. There's been a bunch of other remixes of it, which I don't know why, but yeah, that hit our ears.
I don't know why I hate it so much, but I do.
Well, it combines a lot of things you don't like. It's an earworm of a song, first of all, and then it's like a game. You have to follow movement.
That's true, and I never fully learned how to do it. And maybe it's part resentment. Like, God damn all you guys that remember the dance.
Plus, it's like an intention thing. Like, you're on the floor doing it. That's not, you're never going to participate in that.
I'm not going to do that.
It's really
Group
everything.
dancing?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Didn't you have to do that when you were on the University of Iowa, like a welcome
did.
committee?
I did. And I don't know how I justified that to myself, or maybe that experience is what put me off of group dance forever.
Oh.
Maybe
that
that's
could
what
have been
it
the tipping
was.
point. Like, I haven't really done this, and then I did it. Yes, confirmed. I will never do that again.
When all of us 20-year-olds had to do a dance to get jiggy with it in front of 3,000 new freshmen 9 times a year.
Is there possibly a video of that anywhere? Because I would pay money.
I hope there is some kid out there that is just like, I am taking footage of this. I am an early influencer, and maybe somewhere out in the web.
I feel like, but that generation is now taking their own kids off to college. And I feel like they're like, no one's dancing here. They danced when I came to college.
You're right. This is way more fun.
They had a song about STDs when I went to college.
I remember that. You said that now.
All right, Heath, what do you got for 1995?
There was a movie in 1995
Oh my God, there was.
called the Brady Bunch movie.
Oh my God.
Not where I thought you were going. That was a whiplash.
Wow.
Okay.
It came out in February of that year, and it was a parody of the TV series that ran in the late 60s and early 70s. And back in the day, there was just a boatload of movies released that were based on old TV shows and cartoons. There was the Beverly Hillbillies and Dragnet, the Flintstones, Charlie's Angels, Dukes of Hazzard.
I forgot about that.
For for a while, I mean, that's the only thing it seemed like Hollywood was making was just
Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. They just find an old TV show and throw a bunch of money at it and make it 2 hours long. The biggest difference between most of those films and the Brady Bunch movie, though, was those films all kind of took the characters and put them in like a modern setting, like current times, except for, obviously the Flintstones. But in the Brady Bunch movie, the Bradys were all still stuck in the 70s. So a lot of what the jokes in the movie was just them interacting with like grungy 90s people. But they were still in their kind of pristine 70s, like there was an innocence,
Optimism,
like,
and Mm-hmm.
So the internet calls that an alternate retroactive continuity storyline.
Say that again.
Wow.
Alternate retroactive continuity storyline.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Which seems kind of highfalutin to be talking about the Brady Bunch movie.
It really does.
does.
Like, that feels like it should be a Criterion Collection something or other.
Congratulations,
Not this.
Stan, on that one. You sold the shit out of it.
Wow, Stan's job hopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Okay.
job, Stan.
Good job.
Christopher Nolan wishes, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
And it wonders, like, now, like, they could remake the movie now and just have, like, the Bradys just, like, reading shit on the internet and just be totally
very
scandalized.
true.
It would be kind of...
Reading
you get the
thirst
same
traps.
effect.
And,
Yeah. The comments
Yeah.
people leave on anything. Mm-hmm. So the plot of the movie is a mashup of about a dozen different plot points from the series. In the movie, the Bradys need $20,000 to pay their property taxes or they're going to lose their house. Their scheming neighbor is trying to get everyone on the block to sell their homes because he's one of the developers behind a shopping mall. And he wants to build it on their block in the middle of a residential area,
That
apparently.
sounds right. Yeah.
Because that's how zoning works.
Yeah.
Right. Yep, yep. I mean, that particular plot point was not pulled from the show, but the rest of them kind of are. Jan's jealous of Marcia. Cindy's a narc and is tattling on everybody about everything she hears.
On Cindy.
Cindy's the youngest one, right? Yeah, okay.
Greg wants to become a singer named Johnny Bravo.
Nope.
Peter's going through puberty and his voice is cracking and he's got the hots for his teacher.
Wait, that was in the show?
I don't know about the hots for the teacher part, but I
Okay.
remember there was like his voice
was
cracked and
cracking?
he
Oh my God.
like they were doing a singing thing and
Oh,
then they incorporated it
no.
into the song and and then Bobby's excited about being a hall monitor. And I kind of feel like they just ran out of ideas for Bobby.
Yeah,
and
that
they were
sounds
just like,
right.
all right, you be a hall monitor. So the Bradys don't come up with the money for their tax bill, but the night before they have to move out of their house, they enter a talent contest. And the grand prize is $20,000.
Of course it is.
Oh my gosh.
Not a cent less or more.
No.
20,000 on
You
the
better
dot.
leave some out for taxes.
Right. Well, you're already in a tax problem right now.
Yeah.
Now you're going to be in another tax
You're going to be in
problem.
another tax problem.
Yeah. So they perform and win, and that's probably because the judges are Davy Jones and the Monkees.
Oh, Davy.
Yeah, and they think the Bradys are just the grooviest thing around.
Of course they do.
So several of the original cast members have cameos in the movie, including Florence Henderson, and then there's Ann B. Davis, who was Alice on the original show. She plays a truck driver in the movie, which I think is considered a glow up.
That's fantastic.
It is. I agree.
RuPaul appears in the film as Jan's guidance counselor.
Really?
Uh huh.
Oh, I
Yep.
didn't know that.
Does he appear in drag?
Uh huh. Yep.
Wow, 1995. Get it.
Yeah.
And then Jean Smart, she's the Brady's boozy slut neighbor, Dina Goodmeyer.
Nice.
That's good casting.
Very good casting.
I don't think you could have made a Brady Bunch movie and like had it be serious. Like this is the only way to do it, where it was kind of a parody of the show.
Yeah.
Well, 1995 contained multitudes because it had Brady Bunch and then it had the movie Seven.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Different vibe.
Different vibe. This was
That is
bleak
haunting.
as fuck, and I loved it because, of course, I did.
Yeah, you did, of course. Yes.
I need you to picture Brad Pitt, sexiest man alive era. Okay, he's a few years off at Thelma and Louise. He just did Legends of the Fall. He is dreamy. This is also the time of Gwyneth Paltrow dating Brad Pitt, and they had a love affair for a few years until maybe he heard her early plans for Goop, and he was like, "Nope, I'm out." So Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, also always a goddamn legend.
Yes.
Gwyneth Paltrow is in it as well, when she was still an actress. And at the time, relative unknown Kevin Spacey.
I forgot he was in it.
Yep, in a very critical role. And the director of this was David Fincher, and this was one of his first major films. He had done Aliens Resurrection, which did not do well, and so he was trying to sort of redeem himself. And this is it. And first, right off the bat, the opening credits are set to Nine Inch Nails.
You were in.
I was in. Motherfucking in.
You're even wearing a 9 Inch Nail shirt.
I know. I didn't realize that I was doing that. But
She is covering Tina with a 9-inch nail shirt.
Yeah.
Even as we
Tina!
speak.
This is the vibe. So we are in a city. We don't know which. It's crime-ridden and corrupt. It reminded me of a Gotham, like a very, down and dirty sort of city. And Morgan Freeman is William Somerset, and he is a detective 1 week away from retirement.
Of course
he is. And then his new partner is David Mills, Brad Pitt, who is young, idealistic, a hothead. He's a new transplant to the city with his wife, Tracy. On day 1, there is a murder where a man was forced to eat until he died. And gluttony is written on the wall, I think. Yeah, on the wall.
And that was a deeply disturbing and gross scene in the
Deeply
movie.
disturbing.
All the
of those
scenes are deeply disturbing, yes.
Day 2, there's a murder of I think it's a man who's been forced to cut a pound from his flesh. And greed is written on the wall. From there, they find a third one, a drug dealer who is tied to a bed for a year, and he's still alive, and there's sloth. So we realize, okay, we're getting the 7 deadly sins here. That's what's happening. While this is going on, Tracy wants to get to know her husband's partner, so she invites William Somerset over for dinner, and she becomes friends with him. Like she's a nice person, and he's a nice person. And she even admits to him later that she is not happy in the city and that she's pregnant. And he says, okay, only tell your husband if you're going to keep it. So the 2 detectives find out who checked out some books in the library on 7 deadly sins, because that's how you did things back in 1995, apparently.
That's how you did it.
Yep.
Yes.
And they find the...
And then they called Angela. Right?
They find the book checker-outer named John Doe, but he gets away. But the apartment is peak serial killer chic. We've got like notebooks just filled to the brim. We've got photos, and we've got research on the detectives. So they realize, he knows who we are.
That's not good.
Each day there's another murder. There's Lust, who is a prostitute. I'm not just going to describe that one because that was horrible. There's Pride, a model who's been disfigured. And then after that last one, they go back to the station, and there's this insane scene where John Doe, who is Kevin Spacey, shows up at the police station, and he's covered in blood, and he screams out the detectives' names, and then everyone's like, oh, fuck, it's him, and they arrest him. He says, I'm going to plead insanity at my trial unless you escort me to an undisclosed location where you're going to find the last 2 victims and be in wrath. And I debated on whether to describe this last scene, but it's 30 years, like, right?
Yeah.
I mean...
You're fine. Yeah.
Okay. Because it's such an epic, iconic scene. But there's a delivery van approaches, and the delivery driver says he was instructed to deliver a box at this moment, at this time, at this place. Somerset opens the box and is horrified. And so then it's a race, and he tells Detective Mills to put down the gun while Detective Mills is shouting, "What's in the box?" Which has become, a thing. Yeah. If there were memes in 1995, that would have been a meme to beat all memes.
For sure.
Things happen quickly, and John Doe reveals he was envy because he envied Detective Mills' life with Tracy. And he says the package contains her severed head. And he urges Mills then to become Wrath. And by doing that, he reveals that she was pregnant. And he didn't realize that he didn't know that she was pregnant. And so Mills, because he's a hothead and because this has all happened and, his life has fallen down, he shoots him and he fulfills the wrath. He fulfills the 7 deadly sins. So apparently...
So it's a feel-good movie.
It's a feel-good movie.
It's a
but
really
get this,
good, yeah.
Apparently the movie was supposed to end there, where he shot him in the head and done. But test audiences were like, what the actual fuck? And so they did an additional scene, sort of a denouement kind of thing, where Mills is taken away and Somerset. He also says in voiceover, Ernest Hemingway once wrote, "The world is a fine place and worth fighting for. I agree with the second part." So, okay, as you might expect, the studio was not happy with this movie. They were like, what is this?
Yeah.
Test audiences were not happy. Apparently one lady walked out and was like, the people that made this need to be killed.
Oh, gosh.
So an early MAGA supporter is what I'm getting.
She went on to start QAnon.
Yeah. Yep. So the studio didn't know how to promote it because, like Brad Pitt, they thought Brad Pitt was like, almost a Leonardo DiCaprio, like
Right.
lots of teen girls. So they're like, how the fuck do we market this? So they just sort of dumped it out into theaters. And it became the 7th highest grossing film of the year. It was a big sleeper hit that just kind of stuck around and stuck around.
It's not lost on me that it was the 7th highest grossing.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah.
I think, and one of the reasons I wanted to talk about it, because I think it influenced so many movies after it. The style, and of course David Fincher went on to, he's done so many things kind of in this style. But Bleak as Hell, I really enjoyed. I don't know if I enjoyed it. I really liked watching it and just the spectacle of it. And that last scene was so crazy how it all went down. And I remember sitting in the theater and watching those opening credits like, here we go.
You saw it in the theater?
Yeah. But I was 18 and,
okay, that's
I
fair,
don't know. Anyway. Yay!
Yay! I feel good. Sunday
I always tell myself each time I'm making choices, like, don't be a fucking drag. Don't do the darkest shit possible.
Well, I mean, if you don't like Gwyneth Paltrow, this is the movie for you. Because,
good point. Good point.
Things don't turn out well for her.
If Goop has done you wrong and you got a vagina egg that did not work, then watch this movie.
Okay, well, my next thing from 1995 is a story that it's a weird story. And I'm going to give you homework, listeners. I don't know, but it's a good reward. It's a really good reward. So in 1995, there was this guy named Patrick Combs. And I don't know if you remember in the 90s, the heyday of like checks would get sent, like clearinghouse checks, like you won $95,000, right?
Yep.
This type of thing. So he thought it would be hilarious. Self-proclaimed comedian. And you'll see why I say self-proclaimed.
Oh, no. Seriously?
Yeah. He signed it and he put it into an ATM.
So he found a big check.
No. Like those ones they sent in the mail. Like the clearinghouse would send checks in the mail that said like,
I got confused.
No, I knew what you were thinking. Yeah, that's what
yeah.
I thought at first too. Okay. And I was like, what? No, they would send like, you could, it was like you could win this if you did these steps, but they sent an actual.
Which was very compelling. I remember receiving those and being like, oh my God.
Yep.
Yeah. You could be like,
if only I put these stamps on the thing and send it back.
Yeah.
Something weird. Like,
exactly. Well, he, again, self-proclaimed comedian, put in an ATM. Claims from that point it was a joke and that he couldn't wait to have someone from the bank call him and say this wasn't real. The problem was no one did. And the money from the check appeared in his account. So
and how much was it? Did you say?
Like $95,000.
Oh my God.
So days went by and then 2 weeks. And nothing happened. He goes back into the bank. He asks the lady, like, can I withdraw this money? And she says, yeah, there's some 10-day rule that if it doesn't come back bounced or whatever within 10 days, like it's yours. So even if it is going to bounce, like it's too far past the point. But he wasn't trusting of that. So he went to the law library and found that it was not even 10 days. It's like 48 hours or something. It's a very quick turnaround. So he was like, okay.
So he went to the law library to find this? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. This is where...
The law library.
You're going to see. Okay. So he took out a cashier's check from the bank for the amount and locked it in a safe box at home. Because he still wasn't like, I don't know if this is, legitimate. So... I don't know how much time passes, but the head security guard from the bank ends up coming to his house, okay, and is like, that's not real. You got to give it back. Freaks out. This is where the bank and Patrick Combs have two different versions of events. Patrick Combs says that he was just going to hand over the check, which is why he had it locked in a lockbox. He hadn't spent any of the money, but he found this head security guard to be so rude that he got annoyed and said, I'm not going to give it back. Because he was like, this is obviously your mistake. It's been going on 4 weeks. You had multiple checkpoints, and now you're acting like I'm the problem.
Okay. I don't know if that's a leg to stand on, really, but yeah.
Right. So this whole standoff ensued. I think eventually he ended up giving back the check, something like that. But he then traveled the world with a comedy show based on this story.
No, my God.
David Letterman and Diane Sawyer both covered it in their respective programs because he famously said all he wanted to hand back the check was a free lunch from the bank. If they gave him a free lunch and admitted that it was their mistake.
I hate this guy.
Okay, if you heard the story and you hate him, I will give you fuel for your fire.
Okay.
You need to go. All you got to do is Google Patrick Combs check and his blog will come up where he tells the whole story in his words. And if you have ever wanted to punch a computer screen more, please tell me, because I read the entire blog and I was incensed that, one, this guy thinks he's a comedian. The lines that he put in this, wow. Two, he traveled the world, sold DVDs of him telling the story.
Yay, America.
Yeah. I don't think he particularly got rich or was that successful. But again, you did all this because you say you're so funny. You thought this was going to be so funny.
Oh, my God.
It's wild that the bank did it. I mean, frankly, that's crazy. But on the flip side of it, is it that great of a story? Like,
Not to support a whole comedy tour. I bet he's like one of those comedians that's like, you can't talk about anything these days. You
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
offend everybody.
There's
I just want to joke about rape. What's wrong?
there's a picture of him on his blog, and he's like in a weird, like, kind of like a Fosse pose, like down, like with his legs, but he's got a bunch of money in both hands, and he's like, it's so weird. Yeah.
I think it's weird. I mean, I think it was the right person in the right bank. Because the
Yes.
fact that he deposited it and the bank didn't notice.
Yeah.
And then when he went and asked someone at the bank about how many days and she
Yeah.
got that wrong, it just seemed like the bank was maybe staffed by ding-dongs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Also, I feel like he's probably making money now from corporations who buy him for like a holiday gathering. Because a
Right.
couple years ago, I had a holiday gathering where there was a virtual magician. And it seems like a very small step from virtual magician to comedy from the guy that stole money from the bank.
That's a good point. That is a good
But he
point.
probably packages it like if he goes to corporate events, he packages it like, you know, pay attention, like
Yes.
be detail oriented, like that.
Yes.
You know, your
Easily
mistake
can turn that into a story.
cause-
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
cause
right. It
problems
really
for the
lends
company.
itself more to motivational speaking than comedy,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you read his blog, because comedy chops he does not have.
Oh, boy. He's relying on the story itself to be the comedy, and it's not that funny.
And there's a lot, when I say a lot, more than 1, 2, possibly 3 times that he proclaims how funny he is. Like, anyone that knows me knows I'm hilarious.
Oh, God.
So I was waiting, and I was like, God, see, that's the problem, because when you say you're hilarious, you're usually not.
Yikes.
Yeah. It's like when people feel they need to tell you who they are, they're probably the opposite.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm a nice guy.
I'm a really nice guy. I would never do this
Yeah.
normally. Yeah.
Side note, that's why I always feel weird when if we're writing copy for like this podcast to say it's a funny podcast, because I'm like, well, now people are going to be like, it's not.
It's not funny.
Like,
We think
and
it's funny.
if you proclaim yourself to be funny, it's gross. Like, you're not.
You're
And,
not funny.
yeah. You got something to finish us out, Heath?
I do. We've heard of Michael Jackson, right? We're
Oh,
familiar
sure
with that
have.
person?
Yeah.
Yeah, because his paramedics were hot.
Yes, hot paramedic.
Paramedic. Best kind of paramedics.
In August of 1995, Michael Jackson released what would turn out to be his last #1 song, which was called "You Are Not Alone,"
Oh, no.
which would be an excellent title for a horror film, I think. Out of all the Michael Jackson songs out there, I'm not sure most people would say this was their favorite. But it's notable to me because it was written by none other than noted perv and all-around creep R. Kelly.
Whoa,
It
really?
It was. Yep.
Oh, that makes some sense.
Oh my gosh.
You
I
are
did
not
know
alone
that.
because I am watching you.
Right.
Because I am.
Yep. The song holds a Guinness World Record as the first song to debut at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in the United States.
Really?
It
Yeah.
did?
It's funny. It's interesting now because it's a lot easier for a song to debut at #1 now
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you stream it, you buy it on iTunes, whatever. It's really easy to get. Whereas, 30 years ago,
I guess
you
that's
had to
true.
you had to go buy it. You had to go to the
Yeah.
record store and buy the cassette single. You had to call the radio station and ask them to play it. Like there was just there were fewer ways to get it to happen, and so it had to be a pretty big deal for like the country collectively as a whole to sort of like
We like this guy. Let's
we're gonna
do it.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do it.
Just as a side note, the second song to do it was "Fantasy" by Mariah Carey, and
Yeah,
it did
it
it like
was.
3 weeks later.
3 weeks later,
Yeah.
Thank God for Mariah Carey.
Mariah Carey was like, hold my beer, I got this.
Yeah.
I'm saving you, America.
You don't need
Saving
this
you.
shit. Here you go.
Yep. So R. Kelly has explained that the song is about love and isolation, and that he wrote the song after losing people that he had been close with. And I'm assuming that a healthy chunk of those people hit the road after they found out he was a Class A skis.
Yeah, also, wasn't he like famous for isolating people?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Like keeping them in rooms?
Yeah.
Did he play this on repeat?
Oh.
Oh
no, to his victims. That's what he played.
Yeah.
So the original composition did not include the gospel choir to close out the song. That was Michael Jackson's idea, which
forgot
he
about
has apparently made a point of pointing out a lot. Like, it reminds me of in Romeo and Michelle when they're just like, it was my idea to make the Post-its yellow. Like, I feel like he's like, when people are like, oh, it's a good song, he's like, it was my idea to put the gospel choir in.
I didn't write it, but...
So there are two composers in Belgium, Edward and Daniel Van Passel. I mean, there's probably more than two, but these are the two I'm talking about.
Yeah. Nope, these are the only two.
Yep. They wrote a piece a couple years before and named it If We Can Start All Over. And they registered that with the Belgian Society of Authors, Composers, and Publishers.
Okay.
So when You Are Not Alone became a big hit, the Van Passel brothers sued R. Kelly for plagiarism. They initially lost the suit, but won on appeal. So now in Belgium, there's a ban on all radio and television broadcasts of You Are Not Alone.
What?
Because that's apparently how they handle shit over there. And the Van Passel brothers are listed as co-writers of the song in Belgium, which seems purely symbolic because if the song can't be played in Belgium, you know, the only country where they're listed as co-writers, then they wouldn't be earning any royalties from the song, I assume, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get how that's a reward.
Yeah, that doesn't help at all.
That's
like-
a spite. That's that's a fuck you to them.
I feel like somebody at the Belgian court was just like, these assholes.
Yeah.
Not these two again. And, you know.
It feels like a concession that means nothing. Like, oh, okay,
Right.
we'll put your name on it. You're not going to earn any money because we banned it. But maybe they gave them that concession and then said, we're going to ban it. And they were like, well, goddamn it. We fought.
The music video for the song features a mostly nude Michael Jackson with his then wife, Lisa Marie Presley.
Oh no.
Frolicking and whatnot.
Yeah, it's
which was a real jump scare.
Oh,
Like to turn the TV on in
God.
1995 on MTV and like, you know, see that. The video feels a lot like he was trying to make sure everyone understood that he was attracted to ladies and enjoyed physical interactions and canoodling with his wife.
Yeah.
And it all comes across a little forced and unsettling. And it's a little bit like, you know, the Richard Gere, Sidney Crawford thing that you talked about. It just felt a lot, it was too big of a response. It just felt like, I'm, come on, guys, come on, I like ladies. Like,
Which
boobs,
happened
wee.
first? Did this happen first or the MTV Awards kiss?
The MTV Awards kiss happened because this was the year after that.
This was
Because
the
in
year after,
1994 is when they, on the Video Music Awards, when they came out
Yes.
and made out on stage for a
Yes.
minute.
Which-
and, like,
Fun fact, I read her memoir recently, and she credits that kiss with starting being the downfall of her marriage to him. Because a big part of how they got along so well was that he innately understood her deal with fame and feeling like people were always using her. And he didn't tell her he was going to kiss her beforehand. And he did it, and she felt like, oh, I'm just a pawn to
Yeah.
you. And so it started
Yeah.
to deteriorate their level of trust completely. And she was like, that was one of the turning points for me where I felt like I couldn't trust him.
Follow-up question.
Yeah.
You famously, in one of our past episodes, talked about how the Thriller video was scarring you. Where on the level of scar was this video?
I think had I seen this when I was the same age as I'd seen the Thriller video, it probably would have been more scarring. Because I would have just been like, what's happening?
Yeah. Okay. You'd grown up. You were
Right.
older and wiser, and you were like, "This jump scare I can handle."
Right.
I
It's
watched
the difference-
Scream. It's fine.
It's the difference between seeing the movie Seven as a 9-year-old or a 19-year-old.
Good
you
call.
know?
Yeah, there you go.
That's
Okay.
fair.
I didn't realize that song debuted at number 1.
Nuh-uh. I didn't either. It's not. Like, I don't count it among one of his biggest hits.
It was it was kind of after his he was kind of on the downward
Yeah.
slide of his career, and he got so strange. And dude, like I don't want to shame any. We're all stone cold weirdos.
We are all
like,
The best kind of stone cold weirdos. Yes.
like, I don't want to make anyone feel like we only like normals.
No, we don't like normals. Gross.
But it was just he had owning a chimp named Bubbles.
that's right.
Just all of the odd shit he did.
Yeah.
And it was starting to all kind of come out and yeah.
It's maybe a little late to rename the podcast, but Stone Cold Weirdos is a real good name.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's actually amazing.
Yeah. Maybe we no longer use our names, Amy, Aaron, Heath, and we just say we're the
Linda,
Stone Cold
Tina.
Weirdos.
We're the Stone Cold Weirdos.
Hosting Fuzzy
Fuzzy
Memories
Memories.
podcast. Yeah, I like it.
I actually like that a lot. 1995.
Yeah.
Still delivering.
Still in labor.
Not like DoorDash.
Yeah, very different from DoorDash.
So, Aaron, you're going to go home and watch Seven, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
Nope. Sure, I'm not.
Are you going to watch the Brady Bunch movie?
Maybe.
Okay, that sounds
I
more.
just want to see
yeah.
the RuPaul thing.
I know.
Yeah, that I missed the first time.
On that note, we'll see you again next time.
Bye.
Fuzzy Memories is a Broads and Books production. It's hosted by Heath Smith, Aaron Johnston, and Amy Lee Lillard. Follow us at Fuzzy Memories Pod on Instagram for clips and highlights. And follow us at Broads and Books Productions for updates on new shows coming your way. See you next time.
Reminds me of a news story. We can cut this part, but they showed a lady on the news this week that was all proud because Planned Parenthood said that abortions in Iowa have gone down 40% since that happened. And then the journalist, good on you, did the interview like, we're so happy, we're saving babies, blah, blah, blah. And then the journalist was like, but in Illinois, Nebraska, other places where it's legal, it's up over 160%. Like,
Yeah.
so
Saving babies, not happening.
We are helping tourism in neighboring states, though.
yeah, that's true. That is true. That's what their Chamber of Commerce should put out now. Is like, come here to have your abortion.
Yeah.
You can.
It should be on the state sign.
State.
Like when you're taking road trips,
Yeah.
there should be, like when it announces rest areas, be
yeah,
like
yeah.
abortions.
Hotels should sell like special packages. Like you can stay here for this many
yeah.
days. We'll provide a nice warm robe. You know.
Yeah. I mean, you don't go to Illinois and just get an abortion and come back. You go out to dinner, you know?
Absolutely. You go to a show.
You take
You
that
do-
little spin on
yeah.
the river and
Right, yeah.
do all the things. Yeah.
I can see it now. What a great campaign
Make
it
a
will
little
be.
trip. Make a little getaway.
Make a little getaway out of it. Yeah. Do some more, like, got you in this situation.
The hotel concierge will figure out everything for you. Take you to the
I need the
best
abortion package.
place.
Because that's what, everyone wants to call up